Hey, so I wanted to talk a bit about a particular argument that is made sometimes that is a little bit fallacious, and that is the source argument. Um, now, I was watching Mentiswave. Mentiswave has a video called the Midwit Tier List, and he covers this a little bit on in that video. Essentially, people will demand a source, and if you can't provide a source, or if you refuse to provide a source, they will assume that you are wrong. Now, in a lot of cases, in some cases, there are this is necessitated. You do need a source. But there are some cases in which a source is not going to do much for you, and there are some cases in which a source is not necessary. And I also wanted to talk about how just having a source does not make you right, but we'll get into that in a bit. So, if you are making a logical argument, you aren't uh, you aren't necessarily providing statistical data. You're just piecing things together. You are logically explaining something. That does not require a source. Uh, you are like, let's say you're making an argument about why certain behavior will lead to a certain outcome. Let's say, let's go back to the argument about turning on the power on the computer. If I push the power button on the computer will turn on. That is a logical statement. Uh, if you ask for a source for that, well, when am I going to find a source for that? This is simple logic. um, of course, it gets more complex than this, but you get the point. If I'm explaining how one thing connects to another thing, I don't necessarily need a source unless I am making a claim about something particular, like a statistical claim. Now, and let me give a better example. So, the the crime rate. The crime rate goes up in areas where there is more gun control. If I am connecting these two things, I do not need a source to connect them. I am connecting them logically. There is no source that is going to confirm this except for a source that uses logic. So, just providing a source when I'm doing the explanation, a source is just going to provide the same explanation. So there's no real need for a source in that instance. Um, so now, just having a source does not make you right. Okay. Um, there on my punk video, just recently, there was a guy who got into an argument with me, and he basically gish galloped. He said all this stuff about ICE is killing American citizens. He said the Department of Education is being destroyed. He said Trump is losing support. And I said, okay, first off, ICE is not killing very many citizens. ICE isn't killing very many people at all. In fact, more people were killed by ICE during the Obama administration than have been killed in the past 6 years. And keep in mind, Biden was president for 4 of the past 6 years. Then Then I said the Department of Education has destroyed education. They have ruined education. They have made it worse. People are less educated now. Then I said people who supported Trump, used to support Trump, have lost their support for him because he is not far right enough. Then this person posted a link about the total number of deaths in ICE custody, which is not the same as people killed by ICE. That is very different. That includes drug overdoses in custody. That includes inmates killing each other. That includes, people dying of illnesses. And which I'm not sure how common that would be, but that includes a lot of things that have nothing to do with actual intentional killings, which is what was being discussed. So he couldn't prove his claim about that, and he actually disproved his claim about that with his own source. Then he provided a source for the Department of Education making education more affordable, which is not what was being discussed. We were discussing whether or not people are more educated because of the Department of Education. And actually, if you look at the literacy rates, if you look at the mathematical comprehension rates, they have gone down consistently since the inception of the Department of Education. This is much like how most inflation took place after 1971 when we left the gold standard. There's a direct correlation. The Department of Education has destroyed education. Okay, it's made it more affordable, but it's not good. It's not helping people to learn anything. It's just there. It's just cheaper. Okay? That's not the same thing that's being argued. So he changed his opinion on what was being argued there. And the last thing that he did, he provided a source that was a blog, first of all, to confirm that it was mostly centrists and leftists who were abandoning support for Trump. And it's like, okay, that may be the case, but that's not what I said. That has nothing to do with what I said. I said right-wingers who used to support Trump no longer support Trump because he's not far right enough. I didn't say anything about centrists. I didn't say anything about the majority of his support. Of course, if you actually talk to people, you realize that, yes, the majority of his support has been lost because he is not far right enough. People supported him because he was supposed to be the far right candidate, and now he is acting as a leftist. So this person provided multiple sources that either contradicted their initial claims or did not prove their claims, or weren't even valid. Now, let's return to why having a source. Let's talk a little bit more about why simply having a source is not necessarily a good thing. Let's say you are talking about police corruption, and you cite a memo from the Internal Affairs. Now, as you may be aware, Internal Affairs is internal. It is the police themselves. What Internal Affairs is essentially the police investigating the police. And as the saying goes, as a lot of these organizations such as Police the Police or Cop Block or Cop Watch, as the saying pushed by them goes, we investigated ourselves and found we did nothing wrong. And so simply having a source in that instance, like let's say you do cite the internal affairs memo. Well, the internal affairs memo is the police investigating themselves and finding that they did nothing wrong. So that's not exactly valid now, is it? There are times when you will not be able to get a source. And what I would say is that there is so much censorship and people trying to alter the past. There's a woman who died in 2012. She recorded over 71,000 VHS tapes of news and events because she was worried that people would try to rewrite history. And a lot of people believe she was right. Now, if there is censorship, if there is an Orwellian rewriting of history, you aren't going to find a source for things. You have to rely on your own memory. And as Orwell said, the party told you to distrust the evidence of your eyes and ears. And your memory is part of that. And one thing that I do a lot in my videos is I rely on an assumption that people who watch my videos will have memory of things in the past. And that's why I don't always cite sources. Like when I bring up a topic that I've already talked about, I expect people have already seen my video that I've talked about it on, which probably isn't a good thing. Apparently 95% of my viewership is people who are not subscribed. And that was before I got that 2,000 views on the punk video. But so yeah, I should probably shape up a little bit there. But anyway, reality is a more complex topic than a lot of people want it to be. Thank you for watching. Peace.